Today we're going to look at famous MTG rares that are now unplayable. I'm going to start off one that with what I don't even know if this was even good in the first place. Shivan Dragon, the red 4 generic 5/5 flyer with fire breathing. Pay a red, get +1/+0 until end of turn. I don't know, at the time it was like the biggest, baddest creature. Today we just look at this like it's absolute garbage. And also back at the time, they had to compete with like Channel Fireball and stuff like that. I mean, that was a wild metagame at the time, but they like banned the Mox and the Black Lotus. I think they banned I don't know how much they banned. They banned a lot of stuff back then. They had to balance the format. But anyway, probably, maybe it had some playability at the time, but now absolutely no one would play that. Unless you're a hardcore Dragon player and you just play it for nostalgia. This is the Charizard of our game. Shivan Dragon. Alright, we got, Toads with Royal Assassin. I like that one. Now that was a good card at the time. Let's look at the OG. Definitely a rare. Ugh. Disgusting. Alright, we got a black 1 generic. You have to summon the assassin. It's just a 1/1 creature, but it had this insane ability. It could assassinate Shivan Dragons. Tap to destroy any tapped creature. So if you come at the king, best not miss, because after that, I mean, you're basically dead yourself. Yeah, Royal Assassin now just strictly supreme garbage. It's a very weak creature. It costs 3 mana. It has no ETB. You have to wait till next turn to tap it to like get any use out of that. And then it's so easy to play around. If you're not willing to let your creature die, then just don't attack with it. Also doesn't affect vigilance creatures or creatures with indestructible or regenerate or undying, persist, and so on. Anyway, so strictly unplayable garbage. Yo Little Ted with the Verdant Force. What was this? Verdant Force. What was this? Green, 5 generic for a 7-cell and elemental. As the beginning of your each upkeep, create a 1/1 green sapling creature token. MTG rares that are now unplayable. Sort of presuming that it was playable. Is this any good? Or is I don't get it. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 green sapling creature token. Well, it's not that good. Is it unplayable? It's definitely unplayable. Where we're not like was this ever like good anywhere? Is sort of what I'm getting at. I don't remember any deck that played this card. Or was it that? Is it old? How old is it? It comes from. What's your origin story? Oh! It's actually a super old card. It's actually from Tempest. All right. So back then, I can believe it. I can believe that. It used to be a house. Was the best reanimation target back in the... Oh, is that how it worked? Okay, that makes sense to me. There's an outside chance people would actually ramp into this thing. There was like ramp back then, but it's not that great. But yeah, I can totally see this being a reanimation target. That's probably a show in itself. Reanimation targets that are now unplayable because they make an Emrakul, but then they make an Atraxa, and then it basically just gets out of control. New reanimation targets bump out the older reanimation targets. Balder with the super chat. Do mythics count? No! It does not. That will be a separate show by itself. It'll be a weird one too, because there is quite a bit of mythics in this game. Snapcaster Mage. Partial credit. I think Snapcaster Mage is sort of making a small comeback. I think it's coming into the sideboards of some decks now. The blue 1 generic 2/1 flash. Get flashback from your instants and sorceries. Also, this is not really a mythic. We can count it as a rare. The OG is a rare. So we're gonna count it. It is a significantly worse card from back in the day. Deadeye Navigator. I don't even think that was ever a... I think, like, that's still playable in Commander. It's definitely still playable in Commander. Jackal Pup is a good one, but is that a rare? I don't remember. The Pup. Okay, where's the OG one? We have to verify if this is a rare or not. It is... uncommon! No good. Bulky with Serendib Efreet. Oh, it's like the Tarmogoyf at that time. The blue 2 generic 3/4 flyer. At the beginning of your upkeep, Serendipity Efreet deals 1 damage to you. The most efficient, basically the most efficient thing you can get for 3 mana. It still doesn't even look that bad, even for today. Like, it's a pretty good rate. I don't know if they made it a 4/4 flyer for 3 mana that didn't ping you, probably that might see some play. Probably. Station Disaster. Sarah Angel. This is another Shivan Dragon-like card. Okay, hold on. It's uncommon today. What was it back in the day? Was that really a rare? Did they know it was that powerful? It's uncommon. Disqualified. Moving on to the next super chat. Boulder. We need rares, people. It's a rare show. Search for Azcanta. That's definitely unplayable. Which is sad, because that's a really cool card. It's a blue 1 generic enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. It's like Scry. You may put the card into your graveyard. It's graveyard fuel. Then if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you transform it into the instant sorcery churning searching machine. So it taps for a blue, or you can pay 3, tap it, look at the top 4 cards of your library, reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. This used to be this was a staple in a lot of archetypes. Particularly control, and now this is just like too slow, too inefficient. And you know what's a big problem, actually? It's a reveal a non-creature, non-land part. These days, the control players, they want to find the creatures. They want to find their Furies and Solitudes and Omnath and so on. Can't find that off of Azcanta, the Sunken Ruin. Treehawks, the champion of the parish. No disagreement there. White 1/1 human soldier. Can't even find play in Pioneer because it's not even legal there. Whenever another human enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on champion of the parish. Now it just gets sniped off by Ren and 6, Bowmaster, Fury, Fire and Ice, Lava Dart. Oh, it's a tough. I always said I want a Merfolk champion of the parish. I take it back. Don't give it to me, Wizards. I would be so bummed that they give me a Merfolk champion of the parish now that it's just stone cold unplayable. Yeah, I wouldn't like that at all. Lure us for the wrong reasons. Yeah, it is. It's banned. It's unplayable for the, yeah, very wrong reasons. Okay, what do we got for super chats? They're coming in hot and hard. Stranger Candy. Viscera the Dreadful. What is this card? Triple black, 3 generic for a 5/5 flyer. It's a Gorgon. Tap, destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. I have to admit, this is not a very exciting creature to look at. It's like the clunkier version of Royal Assassin. You're gonna pay 6 mana to tap and destroy creatures? I bet at the time, though, they looked at it, it's like, oh my god, this is strictly better Royal Assassin. We don't even have to wait for the creature to become tapped. Yeah, today this is just straight up unplayable. No one's playing this card. Great suggestion. What's with this Arcanus the Omnipotent? Did this see any standard play? As far as I'm concerned, this still sees commander play. The triple blue 3 generic 3/4 wizard. Tap, draw 3 cards. What's wrong with that? You're drawing 3 cards over here. You can pay blue 2 generic, return Arcanus the Omnipotent to its owner's hand. I can't remember. Did this see any play back in like the Onslaught era? I'm not sure. It looks pretty clunky even for them, but maybe I wasn't playing competitively at the time. He has journeyed where none have been before. Now he returns to ensure that none follow. Geyer with Spirit of the Night. It is a rare. Was this like a reanimation target? Triple black, 6 generic for a 6/5. Flying Trample, pro black. It's protection from like the other reanimator players. First strike when attacking. Okay. Spirit of the Night is unaffected by summoning 6, and it has haste. That has to be a reanimation target. It looks so reanimation-like. It looks very, very good. Except it's like no one would play this card anymore. Where's the ETB? No ETB, not playable in Reanimator. Lynn Civvy. Someone's taking me back. They're bringing Lynn Civvy back. Didn't they? They just made a secret lair. Look, secret lair Lynn Civvy. White, 1 generic, 1/3 human rebel. Pay. It's like birthing pod before there was birthing pod. Pay X, tap, search your library for a rebel permanent card with mana value X or less, put onto the battlefield, then shuffle. And believe me, they all sort of suck. Pay 3, put target rebel card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. So you just keep this sort of churning going. You can search for any rebel so long as you have enough mana for it. Yeah, straight up stone cold garbage today. I don't know, is any Commander player brave enough to be playing rebels? They need to bring, I mean, they could bring rebels back. Like, what if they start, like, pumping out, like, I don't know, these broken rebel cards? Maybe Lynn Civvy can make a comeback. Next super chat, we've got Stetson with Loxodon Smiter. During the Liliana days, that's true. This was the... First off, this card was pretty good by itself. If you wiped away, like, most of its words... 4/4 for 3 mana in green looks pretty good. Turn 1 mana dork, turn 2 4/4 creature. But this one can't be countered. But if a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard Loxodon Smiter, put it onto the battlefield instead of putting it into your graveyard. Surprise, Liliana the Veil! You're basically countered the Liliana the Veil. Your Loxodon Smiter was a great feeling. Just plop. They think they're making you discard, but really they're helping you advance your board state. It was such a wild card, but now today nothing. It's 24-cent bulk rare. Buy up all the Loxodon Smiters you want. They're pretty pointless. Oh, this is a go on. Pierre with Phyrexian Scuda. Everyone thought this was the new Urnham Dejin, right? Yeah, 5/5 for format. Let's get Phyrexian Scuda on here. I had a foil Phyrexian Scuda once, but like no one wanted it. Like I couldn't get it. Like I don't know. It was a weird card. So it's a black 3 generic 3/3, but you can pay 3 life as its kicker. And if you paid the kicker cost, came into play with 2+1/+1 counters. So everyone's hyped for Phyrexian Scuda. Phyrexian Scuda this, Phyrexian Scuda that, and sure, it's awesome play. I had a foil Phyrexian Scuda. And no one wanted to trade big cards for it. They're like, no. So it's like deep down inside, people are like, nah, this card sucks. Although like it looks good, but they don't want. Well, anyway, they didn't want my foil. I feel very, very, very sad about that. Anyway, yeah, Stone Cold Unplayable. Wasn't that great even back then. But it was the best they had, I guess. Voice of Resurgence is I think originally it was Mythic. We're gonna go by the OG. We're gonna save that one for later. Next. Voice of Resurgence was Mythic, right? Before I buzz it off. Voice of... Yeah. We'll save that for the next show. Next time. Alright, well, what do we have next for Super Chats? We did Royal Assassin. We did it. Okay, so we're gonna donate it to the freebie section. Covetous Dragon, bad card in that in the championship decks. It's funny, but you know, during any playable, during any standard season, like anything could be possible. So if red 4 generic, 6/5 dragon, hey, look, you got all this artifact mana. During the Urza's block, you gotta use it on something. And it was reasonably easy to cast these stupid dragons. But this thing had like a wild downside. Flying. When you control no artifacts, 0, you have to sacrifice your dragon. You have to say sayonara. It's like, I have no more artifacts. I have no will to live anymore. Yeah, no one would play this today. It's basically just a 5 mana 6/5 flyer. Pretty underwhelming, if you ask me. Triox. What do you got for us, Triox? I used to play the Flicker Thrag Test deck. It's just so slow now. Is this still seeing some play in Tron, or did they finally dump it? This was actually just hanging on by a thread by Tron decks, because they have a lot of mana. They can pay the green. Green 4 generic 5/3. I will say it has fallen from grace. This used to be in like every deck. Every deck played Thrag Tusk. And then it still saw play even going into Modern. Enters the battlefield, gain 5 life, and with Ragtusk leaves the battlefield, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. That's value. Burn players hate this guy. They hate the swag tusk. Too swaggy for them. Then it's like, that card was great. Mobile Enthusiast with Celestial Colonnade. I don't even know why is this card bad? Comes to play tapped. You add blue and white, but for 5 mana it becomes a 4/4 white and blue flying creature with vigilance. I can't remember. There was like a reason why this card's like not that good right now. Oh, I'll get to the other one. I thought you said Smiter. Maybe I missed a bunch of super chats. Okay, so yeah, but like this is just, it's just gone. I remember this was like a $40 card. Look at this. It's like $1.50. Get up your Celestial Colonnades. Yeah, weird. Crazy how times have come. And not playable. I guess. I don't know. It looks playable to me, but no one will play it. Okay, King Ginger with Loxodon Wormhammer. Is that the artifact? Yeah, it is. 3 mana, equipped creature gets +3/+0 and has trample and lifelink. I don't even know why you would play this in the first place. Unbelievable card. Okay, I'm no one with Siege Rhino. Yeah, that's sad. This like dominated the game for, I don't know, like what, quite a few years. It actually also saw a lot of Modern play for quite a long time. I don't know what was like I guess the breaking point now is easily like Omnath. Omnath is just the new Siege Rhino. Gains even more life and deals more damage. Yeah, this was Abzan 1 generic for 4/5 Trampler, and as a battlefield, Lightning Helix you. Lightning Helix in the face! Gum. Next super chat, we've got Can't Even Fly donating. Donate to someone else, please. Oh, all right, we're giving it. Okay, let's look for someone I do not recognize. Is there anyone I don't recognize, or someone that hasn't gotten one yet? Let's do Steve's. Navinral's Disc. And you know what's sad about Navinral's Disc? Like, they just reprinted this card into Modern, and it sees no play. Nothing. I loved this card back then. It was like the OG Oblivion Stone. It was like the way to blow up the board if you didn't have any blow up the board stuff. And I was like a mono blue player back then. Enters the battlefield tapped, pay 1 tap, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. And it was great! It works so well. Too bad it doesn't still see play today. Okay, so next super chat after that is Samurott the Raccoon. Have we done Hypnotic Spectre yet? Nope. Let's do Hypnotic Spectre. Black 1 generic 2/2 flyer. When it deals damage to an opponent, that player discards a card at random. All I know about a Hypnotic Spectre is people are like, I don't know, traumatized by this card. The turn 1 Dark Ritual Hypnotic Spectre is like, it's like imprinted in the lore of Magic the Gathering. Anyone who fears that play, I mean, that basically shows their age. I wasn't around at that time. Pinoy Bitcoin Analysis. Trade Wind Rider. Blue 3 generic 1/4. Oh yeah, this was part of some control decks back then, or like mono blue control-ish. Flying. Tap 2 untap creatures you control. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. That's a beating. I'm not and if you can't deal with this card, then you're basically just doomed, because it'll just perpetually bounce your stuff. Because all you have to do is tap your creatures, and you bounce their creature. And it's target permanent, so if they're actually low on permanents, you should just start bouncing their lands. Absolutely disgusting. We also have Platonic Liquid. Mana Flare. Bring back Mana Burn. Good old Mana Flare. Red 2 generic. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of that type to his or her mana pool. It was like a risk. Can you really use all that mana that you're using? But I guess you could just... How do I put it? You might as well just make use of the mana right now. It's still a pretty cool card for Commander, though. Because it still works, right? Yeah, whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of any type that land produced. It's a way to speed up the game. But competitively, this is like a huge gamble. This is like the howling mine of for lands. We got Limer, Dictate of the Twin Gods. Really? Red, 3 generic flash. If a source would deal damage to a permanent or player, deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. I will admit, this card is unplayable. But I don't know if it ever was playable. I don't remember that card seeing play at the time, and I did play a lot. Iroas and Mogies are different in appearance as they are in personality. I could be wrong, though. Maybe... Anyway, what? Does unplayable include cards that are banned? No, they don't. Because unplayable means broken, alright? Absolutely broken. They would see play. You know, also that the doesn't count anti-cards and stuff like that. Alright, let's go look at another super chat. Phyrexian Negator. This was like the super Juzam Djinn at the time. So it was a black 2 generic 5/5 horror with trample. It sounds great, right? But here's the downside. There's a catch. You have to read the fine print on this one. When Phyrexian Negator is dealt damage, you sacrifice a permanent for each 1 damage dealt to it. Don't bring this into a bird metagame. You'll get cooked instantly. Yeah, I mean, even like, what's it called? Mog Fanatic would bring this deck to its knees. It's just, well, actually, hold on. I'm trying to think. No, actually, with damage on the stack, just trying to figure out how damage on the stack works. Or did damage on the stack only, I think damage on the stack only affected attacking and defense. So I'm just wondering, with damage on the stack, you just sacrifice the Phyrexian Negator to save yourself from too many permanents getting blown out. Slack with Diluvian Primordial. The hell is this? We got the blue 5 generic 5/5 flyer. When Diluvian Primordial enters the battlefield, for each opponent, you may cast up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard without paying its mana cost. If a spell cast this way, we put it into a graveyard this turn, exile it. I don't even know if this card was ever playable. This card looks like stone crap. But it also still looks playable in Commander. It was great in EDH. Oh, so like it's now rendered unplayable in EDH? For that, I definitely accept it. I accept it anyway. Like, I'll admit, this is definitely a rare that looks terrible. And for 7 mana, there's probably better things you can do. Oh my, this is a weird one to talk about, Wrath of God. And mostly because it's just like, it's been power crept out of the game. Like, it was the sweeper. Even more sweeperish than Navinral's Disc. White 2 generic sorcery, destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated. Oh, this god is pissed. How you defy me? I go god smash on my puny mortals. But then they came out with like Supreme Verdict, Terminus. What else do we have that just wipes the board more efficiently than anything else? Now we don't even wipe the board because now the control decks play with creatures. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Okay, next super chat, we got Samurott with a Darkar Valkyrie. From the Adarkar, so does that mean it's Azorius? Oh no, not. Okay, white 4 generic for a 4/5 angel with vigilance and flying. When target creature other than a Darkar Valkyrie dies this turn, return that card to the battlefield under your control. That is underwhelming. That is incredibly underwhelming. But I think if you're in an angel deck, you're going to be desperate for playables. You might end up playing this damn thing anyway. Terminus Farewell is the GOAT. Oh yeah, that's true. Farewell also pushes like things like the Wrath of God out. Guys, half the rares you name were never playable to be to begin with. Yeah, I can't. Unfortunately, I cannot fact check all these cards, especially if it comes to commander cards. Like maybe there's some. Like, hold on, what is it? Lotus. Lotus something. What is it? Gilded Lotus. Has this been pushed out of the format now? Like, it's not like a premium card anymore. It used to be. I know this used to be in like every single commander deck. 5 mana. Artifact, tap, add 3 mana of any one color. And now there's just like so many better mana rocks and mana everything that this is like a little bit more jank. Yeah, because we love the jank. And at some point, the jank gets pushed out for better jank. I have more super chats. We have tons of super chats. Steve Cooper, I got nothing today except for a donation for chat. Thanks so much, Steve Cooper. So we'll give that one to some pleb. Oops. Chat's moving fast. You guys have so many. Some pleb with Restoration Angel. You're passionate about all your nostalgic cards that are garbage now. Why can't Restoration Angel come back? That seems like such a good card in like an Omnath deck. I guess they're just stretched for on the curve or something like that. It's a white 3 generic 3/4 flash flying creature that blinks non-angels. That seems so good. I mean, we're talking about like Ephemerate and those undying evil, like undying cards in Scam. This is a blinker while also being an attacker. It looks like it works perfectly. What you can even do is you could, with 4 mana up, play Pitch Solitude or Fury or Endurance or anything, and then blink the card while the Evoke trigger is on the stack and save it, and then get double the value. It's still good and limited. Well, we don't count that around here. We only count constructed around here. It's constructed. Jace Mind Sculptor is a mythic. It was one of the first maybe not one of the first mythics. It was an early mythic. Michael trying to get Morphling on here. Sure. That used to be a good card. They made it mythic now? It was originally rare. The 3/3. Pay a blue to untap it. It could have flying. It cannot be the target spells or abilities until end of turn. And also for a generic mana, you can give it +1, -1, or -1, +1. Anyone who like is wondering why we're even talking about this card used to be like the premium win condition back then. Just goes to show how bad creatures were. That's so weird. Because like in my mind, I don't even know a good time I can tap out to play this. Like sure, there was Force of Will back then, but still, that seems like such a risk. Mr. Super Chat with Cruel Ultimatum. Look, we have a lot of. I said there's tons of super chats. All right, I haven't missed anything. We're gonna get through them all. But we're gonna get through them all even more in a second. We gotta thank our sponsors today, FusionGamingOnline.com. You want to go down nostalgic road and play with the cards that you really like to play, even though they're unplayable. You want to play them Restoration Angels, those Morphlings, you get them at FusionGamingOnline.com. That's where you get them from. Deal of the week, save 15% off all the list singles. So if the card is on the list, it's 15% off. But guess what? There's more. You can get an additional 5% off when you use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. That's right. Order now. Ships worldwide. I can't speak for Antarctica, though. You gotta email them. I don't know if they'll ship to Antarctica. And we're also gonna thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. So you can play with all the best cards before they become unplayable, because when they become unplayable, you send the cards back, you're only renting them, you don't own them, and you play with only the most playable of playable cards on Magic the Gathering Online. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_73V. So we do it around here. Hand of Justice. You guys make me realize maybe there should just be, we should have a show of just the most unplayable rares. Most unplayable commons, most unplayable, like even though it never saw play. It never saw play because it's just that bad. Alright, we got white 5 generic, 2/6 avatar. Tap, 3 untap, white creatures you control, destroy target creature. That actually looks pretty good at the time. I could totally see that seeing play. Maybe in the white weenie decks as you're flooding out. Then you just blow everything up. Andrew loves just listening in the background while playing MTG Arena. Nothing better. I agree. I wish I was playing MTG Arena right now. Christopher B. I haven't seen you in a while. Slagstorm. What's up with Slagstorm? Red 1 generic. Choose one. Slagstorm deals 3 damage to each creature, or Slagstorm deals 3 damage to each player. What happened to this card? I guess it just got, like, pushed out by Anger of the Gods and Pyroclasm. Because Anger of the Gods does exile cards, but it doesn't look that bad. Maybe the downside is when you want to just hit your opponent, it also hits you. But still, I'm actually a little surprised by this card. Maybe I just forgot this card existed. It looks really good. Maybe it's only for the burn players, though. Yeah, I guess it got power crept out. I swear, if they printed this card today, people are like, oh my god, this card's amazing, not even realizing the card already exists. That happens so often, where they reprint like a virtual copy of something in the past, but it sort of has a unique, it looks like it has a unique angle. Then everyone has to tell those people, hey, just settle down. This card has already existed for the last 10 years. Nothing new around here. Station Disaster with Sun Forger. What are we forging around here? Does this still see some play in, like, maybe historic? Okay, this did see someone played Sunforger against me in Modern, and I, like, died instantly. So it's a 3-mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +4/+0. Not bad! Alright. And you can also pay a white-red unattached Sunforger. Search your library for a red or white instant card with converted mana cost 4 or less, and cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then shuffle your library. I don't even remember how they beat me. But I do know that I died to this thing. I gave no respect. No respect at all. All I can remember is at the end of the match, I was just like, wow, I lost this super jank garbage. Very, very unfortunate. Cursed Scroll! This is a reserve list card, for crying out loud. 1 mana artifact. It still looks good for some reason. Pay 3, tap, name a card. Target opponent chooses a card at random from your hand. If he or she chooses the name card, Cursed Scroll deals 2 damage to target creature or player. The idea is, like, you just wait till you have 1 card left in your hand, and they will definitely die to it. Like, they have to, target opponent chooses a card at random. If you choose the name, yeah, so you name, like, mountain. I have 1 mountain in my hand. They can't choose wrong. Or they can't pick wrong. Master was a rare, right? It was a rare. Master, did we do this one? No, we didn't do this one. Ugh, that's a hideous redesign. We gotta look at OG. 4 mana, 4/4 creature. What is a good comparison to this card? It was like it was the Walking Ballista of its time. It was the Walking Ballista of its time. Except Walking Ballista is way better. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may choose and discard a card from your hand if you don't sacrifice Masticore. That was such a I can't believe how much this card dominated while having that back-breaking upkeep. Like, you basically are... There were so many game states, you can't play anything anymore. That's it. Whatever... This Masticore and whatever mana you have in play, that's all you have. And for 2 mana, you could ping something, or for 2 mana, you can regenerate Masticore. And you can only ping creatures. You can't even ping people's face. Unbelievable card. Does Lord of Atlantis count, or is it still playable? It's still playable, Mr. Very Smart. Don't be acting very smart here around here. I'm just kidding. Because I know you're just kidding. Platonic Liquid. Oh my god, Geyer, you got sniped. Hold on. Do you have something else, Geyer? Yeah, we just... I'm gonna look around, Geyer. Let's see if you had anything else to say. Geyer, give me something. Give me something. Mirror Universe. What is this? 6 mana tap. Sacrifice Mirror Universe. Exchange life totals with target opponent. Play this ability only during your upkeep. Why during your upkeep? Why have to wait? Why can't I do it at the right moment, at the right time, anytime that I want? This is like $300. What the hell? Why? Exchange life totals with target opponent. I can activate only. I almost choked on my my drink. Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe it's not so unplayable after all. But anyway, I wouldn't play this thing. Nicol Bolas. I'm assuming the original one. I still have people in my comments section that are like, because I'm bad-mouthing how bad Nicol Bolas is. Because that's not, this card is stone unplayable today. But like, people would defend it. There's Nicol Bolas stands out there that defend Nicol Bolas to the end of the earth. Red, red, black, black, blue, blue, 2 generic for a 7/7 flyer. But when they get damaged by Nicol Bolas, oh no, they must discard their entire hand. Their entire hand of probably 1 or 0 cards. Ignore the effect if the opponent has no cards in hand. Pay Grixis during your upkeep or Nicol Bolas is buried. I think the idea is that you're supposed to reanimate Nicol Bolas early and smack them and they lose all their cards. So it's like, I guess it was like a Sire of Insanity at the time. Nicol Bolas posing the same as Ristic Study. Is it? Just swap the pictures. Maybe it'll still make sense. Anyway, it's an OG Elder Dragon. Alright, now we get to Platonic Liquid with Cruel Ultimatum. This is one of those cards people forced. They were still playing this card for so long. Even in Modern, they're just forcing it. Because they love the card so much. Up to a point where they're like, okay, I'm losing enough. I don't want to play this. I don't want to play this deck anymore. Red, red, black, 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 blue, blue. Sorcery. Target opponent sacks a creature. They discard 3 cards. They lose 5 life. Then you get to return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Draw 3 cards and then gain 5 life. So it's basically 7 mana, draw 4, gain 5. And you know, basically rip your opponent's eyes out of their sockets. Nikachu Bolas, yeah, sure. you use Nicol Bolas like a Timmy with Quicksilver Dagger. I don't know the combo. What is this? Tanawa from H-Drav. Tanawa. Sounds familiar. Oh, yeah, the 5 mana 7/7 phasing trampler at the beginning of your upkeep. All lands you control phase out. That is back-breaking. I'm sure it saw a good play back at the time. It's part of the reserve list. Cannot guarantee it was good at the time. Is Eidolon dead? Are you guys sure? I'm gonna fact check this. Where's Eidolon? Okay, just kidding. I know where we're gonna find Eidolon. We're gonna find it here. Boros Convoke? Maybe not. They're mono red aggro. It's gotta be here. It's not here either! Oh my god. Alright. Eidolon of the Great... What happened? What happened to this card? I just looked and it's not there. It's not even in Pioneer. Maybe I've lost something. I know for Modern, it's a bit awkward right now because like the curve has jumped up by a lot. There's a lot of one ring decks, and that means there's, you know, Amulet is a big deck, and Tron is a big deck, and like basically they're like, I don't care about this Eidolon. Sure, Eidolon all you want. It makes no difference to me. Yeah, look at that. It's now it's just gone. Maybe in a few months, Eidolon will be back. As of the making of this video, Eidolon of the Great Revel sees no play. Dark Confidant from Dem. That was a rare, right? Okay, oh, it was originally a rare. The black 1 generic 2/1. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library and put that card in your hand. You lose life equal to its converted mana cost. These days, like, this is just not good value. What, you have to wait a whole turn to maybe draw something? Well, I mean, you'll draw something, but it'll be at the cost of your life total. Anyway. Mirren Crusader by Stetson. Was a great sideboard card. White, 1 generic 2/2. Double strike, pro black, and from green. I think it was mostly good for the pro black part. basically bring it in versus Death Shadow decks, or any decks with like Fatal Push, and they're like, I don't know what to do about this thing. And it's attacking for 4 every single turn. It was brutal. Chris P, show idea, cards that are fun to donate. I swear we did something like that. Or it was something similar. It's like the worst cards, worst ETB or something. I don't know. Oh, it was like cards that are dangerous for your health. And essentially it was like all good donate targets, if you want to look it up. When's the hat stream? Tuesday. Next Tuesday. Okay, got around to okay, is Tarmogoyf now dead? Tarmogoyf. Actually, oh, maybe it is now. As of the making of this video, I think it's like stone dead. Because any deck that was playing Tarmogoyf is now playing with Orcish Bowmasters, basically in its place. Its power is equal to the number of card types among color cards in all graveyards, and its toughness is equal to that number plus 1. No longer is a vanilla two mana creature good enough in any format. Oh my god, you people are so excited. Is this a hat? Is Tarmogoyf wearing a hat? I guess no. Michael was Accumulated Knowledge a rare? Accumulating Knowledge? I don't think that's the same card. No, I think you're talking about Accumulated Knowledge, but that was I think it was no, it was a common. Sorry. Unplayable for the wrong reason. Static Orb. Is that a rare? It was a rare. Okay, it was a rare, and it was good too. So 3 mana artifact players cannot untap more than 2 permanents during their untap phases. And it had a great combo with opposition and so much other stuff. And if you tapped your own Static Orb, because you have to look at like the new one. Let's go look at a new one. As long as Static Orb is untapped, players can untap more than 2 permanents during their untap step. So the deal is you tap your own Static Orb at the end of your opponent's turn, and you get to untap all your stuff. And you just make sure it's all untapped when it goes to your opponent's turn, and they get screwed and nothing happens to you. I thought this was a great card. It's absolutely not a fun card to play against, though. I will admit that. No fun here. This is the no fun zone. All right? The orb of no fun. Jacob Thune. This is definitely going to be a hat here, right? Enchanter's Bane. No hat! Why would you even suggest that type of card? Anyway, red 1 generic enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, target enchantment deals damage equal to its converted mana cost to its controller unless that player sacrifices it. What? What kind of weird card is this? Anyway, it sounds like it was unplayable to begin with. Agent of Treachery is banned! Although I think it sucks, to be honest. You know, let's put opposition on here. That is a card that is... There we go. I want the original opposition. It's also unplayable today. Blue 2 generic. I would love to see this in Modern. I want to do something like this in Modern. Tap and untap creature you control. Tap target artifact, creature, or land. That's power. That's also another unfun card. Like, I was talking about once, like, maybe they could put opposition in Modern. They're like, it's just not the type of card design that they ever want to touch anymore. Because, you know, preventing your opponents from, like, doing stuff sort of sucks. And so on. Master of Waves was a mythic. Patron Wizard. Love to see this card come back. Blue 2 generic. Blue, a 2/2 wizard. Tap and untap wizard you control. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. You got that mana for me? You don't got that mana? You get countered by the patron wizard. And it's just tap. Like, you can just tap this patron wizard immediately and get value out of it. Just make sure your opponent's tapping out for stuff. Anyway, I really like this card. But we need more wizards. We need more playable wizards in this game. Samurott the Raccoon. I feel like half the cards on the stream still see Commander play, despite being unplayable in competitive formats. You're right. I agree with that assessment. Well, you didn't name anything, so we're going to donate the super chat to Michael, the Spiritmonger. There, that's a card that probably doesn't even see playing Commander. Is any Commander players playing this thing? I guess you could build, like, Nostalgia, the Commander deck. Like, why not? Green, black, 3 generic for a 6/6 beast. Whenever Spiritmonger deals damage to a creature, put a 1/1 counter on Spiritmonger. Pay a black, regenerate Spiritmonger. And also pay a green. Spiritmonger becomes the color of your choice until end of turn. This was a community design card. I felt like this was such a waste. Like, at the time, I thought this was just clunky crap. And sure, it saw play in Standard, but, like, beyond that, it just died. Like, it was... The community failed me here. Like, this was a very bad card, in my opinion. Whoever voted for this monstrosity, whatever. There were better community design cards, like Crucible Worlds was a great one. That was a banger. That was dead. I think they spent like a year designing this thing too. Anyway, what do you got for me, Station Disaster? Wood Elves. You could. Oh yeah. Hold on. It's not rare. It's a common. What are you doing? What are you doing, Station? This is a common. Disqualified. I'll give your super chat to Marco. Dark Steel Colossus. Hey, I'm still playing Glasspool Mimic over here. Don't even talk bad about my Glasspool Mimic. Oh, we're gonna get the Darksteel Colossus. Oh, this thing, the 11/11 for 11, trample. It's indestructible. Darksteel Colossus, if it would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal Darksteel Colossus and shuffle into its owner's library instead. Got completely power crept out by, is it the same thing? The Blightsteel Colossus? Is it the same thing? Just went to got Phyrexianed? I don't know the lore, or if that was their brother or sister. Wood Elves is a rare in Portal. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. The fact checkers are right. Alright, Station Disasters, Wood Elves. What the hell is going on here? 3 mana 1/1. When Wood Elves comes into play from your hand, search your deck for a forest and put that card into play. Search your shuffle your deck afterwards. I guess it's okay, but it's only okay. It's probably okay at the time. What great ramp we saw at the time. Obviously, it's so pathetic that they downgraded straight to common. Sterling with Spellskite. This actually is a very overrated card. It's one of the most overrated cards in the game, hence why it's like unplayable at this point. 2 mana for a 0/4 Phyrexian Horror, which is effectively like a wall, but it can attack. Don't forget, like that. Some people forget about that. You can pay a blue, change the target of a pay a Phyrexian blue, change a target spell or ability to Spellskite. So all your lightning bolts go to Spellskite. One thing that really sucks is you can't. It can target spells, but it can't target abilities. So if you have like a Solitude or a Fury in play, it can't do squat about that. Yeah, so I mean, it got worse and worse over time. I'm not putting Glasspool Mimic on this. I'm not doing it. Vexing Devil. I think it did see some play in Burn, like in very, very early iterations until like they got massively better cards. But it's a red 4/3 Devil. Enters the battlefield, any opponent may have it deal 4 damage to them. If a player does sack the Vexing Devil, go swoop it away. It's not any fun until someone loses an eye. It's also not any fun until you can burn your opponent down to death. Vexing Devil was never playable. People tried. I think it's us, like in its very like Avacyn Restored days. Back then, Burn didn't have a lot of good cards. Like it was pretty, like it was really slim pickings in Modern. Remember, there was an era before like Monastery Swift Spear. Maybe it still was bad. I don't know. Also, removal sucked back then. So this had a little, like a little bit more playability. Now we have everything. Everything kills a Vexing Devil. All right, we got Nova Mackenzie. Contract from below. When gambling, your cards was fun. Contract from below. This technically gets disqualified because it's banned for the wrong reasons, or it's unplayable for the wrong reasons. But you super chat, so I'll go over it. Discard your current hand for a black. For a single black mana, you discard your hand. I should have went over the first part. You discard your hand and draw 8 new cards, and then ask you, how much mana does this card cost? Well, it costs 1 because you have to remove this card from your deck before playing if you are not playing for ante. Oh yeah, then you have to add the first drawn to your ante, so you actually draw like 7 cards. Oh wow, I'm risking 1 whole new card here. Lord Trevor with Dream Halls. Has it fallen off? I believe so. If anyone still plays Dream Halls, please stand up. Blue 3 generic enchantment. Rather than pay the mana cost for a spell, its controller may discard a card that shares a color with that spell. You might as well just play Omniscience at this point. It's just a weird card these days. For some reason, Tommy Sidden loves this card. Okay, Cataclysm from Argentina. Oh, this thing. It was originally a rare. White 2 generic sorcery. Each player chooses from the permanents he or she controls an artifact, creature, an enchantment, and a land, and sacks the rest. I can't remember what decks played this thing. I don't think this was strictly a control card, but I do know that that was like a staple. And we got a lot of power creep these days. Progenitus, it's mythic, but whoever played it. Elves. Elves played Progenitus. Anyway, yeah. Progenitus is a mythic. Nikachu's favorite card, Bitter Blossom. Now you're talking my language, damn. Yeah, this card, stone cold unplayable. I don't even think it was ever playable. Okay, here, it was originally a rare. Black 1 generic. Now, the fairy players might prove me wrong. This is like the most expensive unplayable card I've ever seen. Or maybe that mirror card is even worse. Like, it's still holding at like $20 and to be reprinted a million times. This is like the most beloved unplayable card in Magic the Gathering. It's a black 1 generic. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose a life and you put a fairy in play. Oh no. Anyway, I've killed so many opponents. Sorry, Bitter Blossom has killed so many of my opponents. I'm so happy to see this across from me. It's overpowered. That's a good one. Christopher Beast bring up Mistbind Clique. You actually might as well bring up all the cliques. Blue 3 generic 4/4 fairy wizard, flash flying, champion a fairy. So you have to come into play. You have to sack a fairy or it dies. When a fairy is championed with Mistbind Clique, tap all lands target player controls. There we go. Here's the Bitter Blossom fan club here. We got Augie with Geist of Saint Traft. It is disqualified. Oh, hold on. Let me look. I think it was a mythic though, right? Geist of... Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, it's a mythic. You gotta wait for the mythic show, Augie. We're gonna donate your super chat to the crowd. We'll give it to... Y'all don't know Bitter Blossom is broken as F. I don't think so. Larry Law with Pristine Angel. Double white 4 generic 4/4 flyer is also... Okay, it's a rare. OG or rare. As long as Pristine Angel is untapped, it has protection from all artifacts and from all colors. When you play a spell, you may untap Pristine Angel. I have no idea who used this, but it looks like a thing. That's a good... Oh, do you know what? Baleful Strix still sees play in Legacy. Actually, I could be wrong about that. Maybe Bowmaster has, like, rendered it useless, but I know Baleful Strix is highly played in Legacy right now. Because I've been playing a good chunk of Legacy this year. Zura the Enchanter was the best commander back then? Well, it's fallen off, but it's still around, you know what I mean? Okay, here we go. Good Freak with Vendilion Click. And this card will be unplayable for as long as Bowmaster exists, sadly. It's so good. It's a blue 1 generic, 3/1 flash flyer that could, like, target your opponent's hand and take the good stuff away from it. You may choose a non-land permanent from it. If you do, that player reveals the chosen card, puts it on the bottom of their library, and then draws a card. But you could also target yourself and get rid of, like, a dead card in your hand and then draw yourself a new one. I love this card. The utility was so cool. Now it just sucks. Yeah, I would feel very embarrassed and ashamed to bring that to sleeve up that card in a deck. Hey, Rob Nolam MTG. Thanks to Orcish Bowmasters, Ragavan, evil destroying evil. What are you talking about? Ragavan sees plenty of play. This is the only playable 1 toughness creature in Modern and anything. It's still there. You don't believe me? I will show the proof. Here. Rakdos midrange. There you go. There's Ragavan right here. There it is. Still very playable. This is the bar now. You need to be this strong. You need to be this strong on power level, this high on power level to ride the Modern ship for 1 toughness. You super chatted this twice? Well, if you super chat again, like, it doesn't make Geist of Saint Traft more legal for this show. Charlie with Monogongol Tax. Is that a real card? I have no idea what you're talking about. YOLO Swaggins. Phantasmal Image. Phantasmal Image. That was a card that was already pretty bad. Actually, it was already rendered unplayable thanks to Renin 6 and Fury. And now it's just getting worse from here. So it was a blue 1 generic clone, and the downside was that if you target it with anything, you have to sacrifice it, which was pretty fair. Oh, was it Monologue Tax? Monologue Tax. Hold on, let's look at Monologue Tax. Is that? Oh, it's a real card. Okay, there we go. You say it. Slack saved. Save the day. White, 2 generic for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, apparently throw up. You create a token. We're not done yet. I have too many super chats to leave. The show ends when the super chats end. Okay, you create a treasure token. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn. This looks very underwhelming, to be honest. I don't even know why it was good in the first place. Monologue Tax was never good. That seems to be half the cards on this show. Cards that were never good and are now unplayable. Station Disaster. Goblin Guide. It still sees play, Station Disaster. Like, we just saw the Burn deck playing Goblin Guide. For as long as Burn exists, Goblin Guide still exists. Okay, we're gonna give... we did Phyrexian Scuda. That's a great suggestion, but we did that one already. Grizzlebrand still sees play. Yeah, get more coffee. Still have more super... But Hammer of Bogarden. Was that a rare? Yeah, I guess that was a rare. I know M. Hayashi trying to make this playable. He's had a little bit of time in the sun with this card, but truth be told, this is a very clunky card. It's a red. Okay, get this. Hammer Bogarden deals 3 damage to target creature or player. You would think that would be worth, I don't know, 1-2 mana, but this one's 3 mana. However, it does have the upside of paying red, 2 generic. Return Hammer of Bogarden to your hand. Use this ability only during your upkeep and only if Hammer of Bogarden is in your graveyard. So the deal is, like, hey, are you a burn player? Do you hate running out of burn spells? Maybe a Hammer of Bogarden is for you because you repeatedly have burn spells for as long as you have 5 mana in play. Just keep going on and on about this damn crap. Voice of Resurgence is mythic, damn it. I'm going by the OG printing. We need to save cards for the Mythic show. There's going to be a Mythic show, right? Buyback before buyback was a thing. That's right. You got it. Actually, I don't know the timeline. I guess this was before buyback was a real thing. Lord Trevor! My favorite. Ink Eye Servant. Of Oni. Okay, double black, 4 generic, for a 5/4 Rat Ninja, with Ninjutsu of 5 mana. Whenever Ink-Eye Servant of Oni deals combat damage to a player, you may put target creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Regenerate Ink-Eyes for 2 mana. You're right, I would never play this card myself. Tetra Timboman. More Lorwyn block cards. Chameleon Colossus. That was apparently this was like a huge counter to Death Shadow decks. So it's a green 2 generic 4/4 shapeshifter with protection for black. That's relevant. So screw your Fatal Push, screw your Death Shadow, your I think something the Scourge that had XX. And it also had green 2 generic. Chameleon Colossus gets +X/+X under turn, where X is its power. So you can like double the power and just kill your opponent like super fast. Anyway, that tech ain't good no more. I mean, we don't see that thing anymore. Augie with Eidolon the Great Revel. That one does work. But we did that one already, Augie. Man, Augie, it's just not your day. You named 2 illegal ones, then a legal one that we already did. Alright, so we go to Charlie with Grave Titan. I don't know why this doesn't see more play. The Primeval Titan sees all the play, but Grave Titan doesn't. Because we saw when Primeval Titan was around and was it not Field of the Dead, the land that made the zombies. Like that was broken. It was absolutely broken. But you could just recreate that scenario with just Grave Titan. Black 4 generic for a 6/6 Death Toucher, enters the battlefield or attacks, put 2 zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield. So the point is, there was a time where if you play like Primeval Titan, you had like this one shot to go and kill your opponent right then and there, or else the game completely slips away. But with Grave Titan, I mean, you stabilize. Like, almost certainly. Oh, it's Mythic. It's disqualified. Disqualified for Mythic. Was it always Mythic? It was always Mythic. All right. A double buzzer, that one. Okay, we'll go with Omik's Noble Hierarch instead. Damn, I had this huge monologue. Noble... I never know how to spell air. What is this? I didn't look for that one at all. Noble Hierarch. There we go. Yeah, did anyone see the thing with Brian Kibler? It's like green is not, and they erased 0 with a 2, just to like increase a nobler hierarch, because now 0/1 creatures just sucks. You play this one on turn 1, and your opponent goes turn 2 Ren and 6. I mean, you are a big sad face. Simple as that. To me, you know, to get Noble Hierarch back into the format, you gotta ban like Fury, Ren and 6, and Orcish Bowmasters, and then maybe we get Noble Hierarch can come back. Balder with another super chat. Elite Spellbinder. Maybe you're right, actually. This card saw so much play in Legacy. I haven't seen the metagame lately. It was such a good card in the initiative decks, but maybe it's just stone unplayable now, which I'm happy with, because this card was pissing me off. It's a white 2 generic 3/1 flyer, enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You can exile a non-land card from it for as long as that card remains exiled. You can still play it, but you have to pay 2 more to play it. But the thing is, in the initiative decks, you're like dead before you can play anything. Like, that deck is so aggro, it's insane, and it disgusts me. And last up, we got Station Disaster. Mana Tithe. Now that's a card that maybe never was playable. White instant, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. Is that really a rare? No, it's a common. Disqualified. Unbelievable. What's with you people? Was it ever a rare? Why would you suggest this card? Or we donate to the crowd here. Borrowing the East Wind from Toilet Duck. Yeah, was it ever playable? Green X was a rare. Borrowing the East Wind deals X damage to each player and each creature with horsemanship. Not horsemanship! My horse! Basically anti-horse card. Don't bring it to the track. Yeah, okay, well, yes, it is it's definitely unplayable. I would not want it, like, at the very least, they could have made it a green. It's like a bad hurricane or a bad, earthquake. in a lot of ways. Let's end it on one freebie here. Yeah, horsemanship hate. Why would people hate horsemanship? Not the horsemanship. Volrath Stronghold. This can't be mythic, right? Okay, add one colorless mana to your mana pool. Black, one generic, tap. Put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. That is such a cool card for not seeing much play. I would love that in my Merfolk deck. I just need the blue ability. Or maybe I got a splash blue for this. Ah, it's part of the reserve list. That sucks. Such a cool card, but still a little too clunky. A little too clunkaroony. Alright, that's it for unplayable cards in the rare slot. Hopefully, we'll have more legal suggestions next time. To finish the series, we'll be going on to the mythics. And if are there any other unplayable rares that we missed that used to see some former glory, let us all know in the comments section below. So if you want to be part of the show, you got to be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks to all the supporters on Patreon, on YouTube, and also the people who super chat during the show. Huge support, and it makes sure that I'm doing this every single morning for all of you. And we've also got to thank the coffee crew themselves, who shows up in the morning to make the show what it is, like Name! And Steve Cooper, Tommy Sidden, Steven, Samrod, Mr. Deadhead, Echo, we got Christopher B., Erland, Jess Sterling, Tetra Tim Bowman, Argentina, Erland, Sum, Nick MC, Serbent, Toads, Slack Wellman, Sterling, Larkin's around here as well. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up them coffees, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.